Welcome back to another video. This is going to be another one of those yearly videos of games I played during the year. I did the 2018 one, the 2019 one, and now we're doing the games played in 2020. I'm going to do it in the same style as I've done in the other ones, going from the games I played the least to the most, starting with 2020 and then moving on from the games I played in that were released in different years, because I'm just like you guys, I don't really play everything that comes out every single year, so sometimes I'm a little late on a few of the games. And there's some pretty good ones that were not released in 2020 that I played this year that I did enjoy a lot. Alright, let's start with Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I played this for about 13 hours this year. I also played Ori and the Blind Forest this year as well, a couple months apart, because I thought, the art style was really cool, and I was like, hey, there's a new one coming out, so might as well get into it. It's a really good platformer. I'm very bad at platformers, and so it was a bit of a challenge for me to play these, but I highly recommend that you look at them. The art style and the story, and the environment, the music, and the gameplay too is really, really good. I really enjoyed my time with both of these games, the sequel and also the original that came out a few years ago, I think in 2016. I also played Temtem. I played it for about 20 hours. This is just pretty much Pokemon on PC. That's pretty much all you really need to know about the game. It's pretty fun. If you really like Pokemon, you'll like this game. I really like roguelike games, especially like deck building ones, kind of like Slay the Spire. If you ever watch any of my other games played videos, I always have Slay the Spire on there. So Monster Train was really fun to play. I played Monster Train for about 23 hours. I also did pick up Griftlands, played that one for only 8. I didn't like Griftlands as much as I liked Monster Train. Monster Train I thought was a lot more fun. Griftlands is really cool too. I'll probably be playing both of these this year as well. They're really fun roguelike games, and it's one of those deck building ones. And Monster Train just had a really fun mechanic where it's like it had every row of the train, and the monsters go up trying to get to the core. It's a pretty fun game. I do recommend it if you like these style of games. At the end of October to the beginning of December, there's a lot of big games that were coming up that I had my eye on. 4 main games: Watch Dogs Legion, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Cyberpunk 2077 obviously, and Yakuza Like a Dragon. And so I was kind of like, okay, which games am I gonna buy, which games am I not gonna buy, right? The Cyberpunk delay kind of helped out having me play pretty much all of these games. And so I started with Watch Dogs Legion. I played Watch Dogs Legions for about 42 hours. I actually had a good time with this one. The main story is pretty, not great. There's a lot of those light puzzles, or those light hacking puzzles I really didn't really like. But the mechanic with, play as any NPC and recruiting any NPC, that was actually a lot of fun, and that's where I had the most fun with this game. I really enjoyed kind of the atmosphere of the game, driving around, recruiting different NPCs, reading up on them, seeing what they are. This is the only Watch Dogs game I actually finished, so that should say enough about it, that I think I had a really good time with it, and I'm kind of very excited to see where this series will go now, especially with the new leadership at Ubisoft. Out of those 4 games, Legions, Valhalla, Cyberpunk, and Yakuza, the one game that I actually didn't buy myself, Yakuza Like a Dragon, which I've only played for about 55 hours now. I'm still playing it because I got this is the final one I got. One of my friends bought this one for me. It is actually my favorite of the 4 so far. Later on, I'll talk about the other Yakuza games I played. I pretty much played all the ones available on PC: Yakuza 0, Kiwami 1, and Kiwami 2, and of course now Yakuza Like a Dragon. I love Yakuza Like a Dragon right now. It's an amazing game. I'm having so much fun with it. I really like the JRPG mechanics. I love Ichiban, but the amount of mini games, the amount of things to do, it's just so much fun to play. I really do recommend getting into the Yakuza series if you haven't. I absolutely love them, and the JRPG twist on Like a Dragon is really cool, and it's really enjoyable. And let's go right into Cyberpunk 2077. I played this one for 66 hours. I actually liked it. I liked it a lot. I liked the story a lot. I thought the story was really good. I had a really good time with that first-person perspective, always being in it. It very much played like a Fallout 4 for me, and Outer Worlds. 2 games I actually did really enjoy, and so it kind of fit right in there in terms of gameplay. Way too buggy. They should have waited another year to release it. But the story and the voice acting, the writing, that part was really cool, and I really, really liked that. So there wasn't very much else to do besides the story stuff. All the other side activities were just not that interesting to me. So I did really enjoy my time with it. I did play it for a good chunk of time. and I really did like my playthrough through it. I wish I could, I wanted to play it again, but it's just at the state it's in, it's just too big of a mess. The game is just too big of a mess to go back and play it through one more time. And so I'm gonna wait until maybe the first DLC or the second DLC to go in and play it again after they fix a whole bunch of the stuff that is just completely just unplayable at times. But overall, I actually really like this game. I love the ending that I got. And so I really do look forward to coming back to it, but I'm not going to be rushing into a second playthrough until like they fixed a lot of the things. This is a game I was actually looking forward to playing for a while, ever since I saw it release on PlayStation 4, Horizon Zero Dawn. And when it came on, since when they said it was going to come out on PC, I was super excited. And so I was like, because like that was like a game where I'm like, even if I had a PlayStation 4, I wouldn't want to play it on there because it seems like it would be way better as a mouse and keyboard game because it's pretty much all range, and I'm terrible at range with controllers. And so when this was released on PC, I was very excited about it. The first month was brutal with how like poorly optimized and how much it crashed. But within a month, this game kind of they got it all together. They fixed all the stuff. It runs way better now, and I had a really good time with it. I played it for 72 hours. It's one of my favorite games that I actually played this year. I really like this game a lot. I like the story about. I like the story. I love just killing the machines. That was a lot of fun. The combat felt really good for an open world game. The way that Aloy moves around the environment, it just felt so natural, and like it felt very like AAA, full funded game that you can really sink into and put a lot of hours in. There's a lot of things that are kind of annoying with it, but overall I had a really good time. I do recommend now that you pick Horizon Zero Dawn up on PC because it is fixed. It is much better than it was at launch, and it's just a really fun game, and I really hope the sequel comes to PC. I really hope the sequel comes to PC because even if I would not play this on console, it just felt way better on mouse and keyboard. If you watched any of my other games played in whatever year videos, you know that I like the Assassin's Creed series. You know that I really liked Origins and I really liked Odyssey. I'm not sure what it was about Valhalla, but I did not enjoy Valhalla as much as other people did. I did play it for 80 hours, but 60 of those were a pretty big slog to get through. There's like a really good 40-hour game in this just mess of a grind of a game. Sure, the world is beautiful, right? The graphics are beautiful, but what the Yakuza series can tell you about just graphic power, it's not all about the graphics, right? It's all about the content. And man, Valhalla, there's so much blow in this game. Like I guess there's parts that are really good. I do like the main story. I thought that the dynamic between Ivor and his brother, or like kind of like blood brother. Gosh, it's been in Sigurd. I think it was Sigurd. It's been a while since there's been a lot of games. 2 big games I've played since then. I played this back in November, and it's like that story was really cool. There's some really good, cool stories. Some of the kingdom, those area story ones or the conquest ones were kind of cool, but everything was so samey. Like everything was the same. Every single beat was kind of the same thing over and over and over again. The only interesting really stuff for me was like the main story one, where it's like, oh, you're changing and you're going and you're doing this stuff, but there's so much other things you had to do just to get to this point that it just felt there's like too much, and a lot of the times you felt like you're just wasting time like in the game. Like all these things just added just more and more time. Like if you wanted to get like a treasure chest in a house, the door is barred, right? So you have to take a few minutes to figure out how to open it by like shooting it through a window or finding like a trap door on the roof or something. The first couple times were fine. Then the millions of times you had to do it every single time, I would just walk by them. I'm like, I'm not gonna take another 5 minutes just going around this house again that I've done for the 200th time already. And so this is why this game just stretches it out for so long. I didn't even get to the credits of this game. I finished the main story, I conquered all the regions, and pretty much I just was like, where are the credits for this game? Like, where is the end of the game? And so it's kind of like I didn't do the side the dream sequence stuff. I did not finish that yet. I'm about halfway through it, but I needed to do like a ton of grinding just to get to the item level, and I did not finish the assassination, what do you call it? Pretty much the Templar assassin cultist thing. What is it? Order of the Ancients, or something like that they called it in this game. I don't quite remember, but I didn't finish that, so I just looked that up just to see what the endings were. I was like, oh, okay, I get the gist. I'm not putting any more hours into it, so I don't know if I'm ever gonna revisit this. It's the changes they made. I didn't like them as much. I was also watching my friend on Discord play Odyssey. I just like Odyssey a lot more. I liked Odyssey just more. Just the kind of like the RPG mechanics in that one. I enjoyed it more. I liked Cassandra a lot more. I think just that game to me was more fun. It might be one of those things where I'm just fatigued now with this version of Assassin's Creed, because I played Origins and Odyssey so much that when I got Valhalla, it just felt too samey, and it was just like they changed things, but they changed the things that I liked, and they left the things that I kind of really didn't. And so, I don't know, man. I put a lot of hours in this game. So if you ever have talked to me before or know me at all, you know I love the Marvel series. I love the MCU. I love those movies. Watched them many times. So when Marvel Avengers was announced, I'm like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Is that gonna be like Marvel Heroes? Is it gonna be like the Marvel Heroes replacement? That's the ARPG that I used to play a lot. So Marvel Avengers, I played this one for 82 hours. It just came out at the right time where I was able just to play it for a long time. But man, this was a swing and a miss. This was a hard swing and a miss, especially for something called Marvel's Avengers. Like this, there is a really good game somewhere way down deep out of all of this the stuff on top of it. You have to like just move all of that stuff over, and then like, oh, there's a possible good game in this somewhere. I had a lot of fun playing it because I just love Marvels, and I thought the story was fine. It was fine. It was fun. It's just way too samey. It's like Valhalla. It's just way too samey. The same rooms, the same enemies, the same motions, doing the same thing over and over again, which is fine, right? If the end game grind is fun, and it really wasn't. So it was just kind of like there wasn't really much to do after you finish the main story. You play the characters, you level them up, and then it's pretty much you're doing two things at the end. You're doing the same runs over and over and over again, and that would be also fine if they were more fun and not just so mind-numbingly boring, right? So like, hopefully, I'm really hopeful that they can make the game more fun. So I haven't recorded gameplay yet, so I'll probably be playing the new class, hopefully. Kate Bishop, hopefully you'll see gameplay of that, because I'm gonna have to go and record some gameplay of this. And so like, hopefully that's kind of fun and see what they did with that. But yeah, so I really hope this game gets better. I really want to play it again, but I need a reason to come back to it. But anyways, let's go to a game that's actually amazing, and it's one of my favorite series franchises. Ever since the first game came out, I remember playing it on a laptop at a resort with my family when I was much younger, with a little laptop playing, and like, this is the best game ever. It's Mount & Blade, of course. And so Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord finally came out in early access, and man, it's amazing. I absolutely love this series. I love this franchise. I love these games so much. I put 112 hours, and I definitely am going to come back to this. I just want them to kind of finish the game a bit more, because I went through everything they had available except the multiplayer stuff. I went through every single bit, did my whole entire conquest thing. I absolutely love this game, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're doing, and I cannot wait till modders start to really dig deep in and start to like, add the mods, because that was what the best part of Warband was. The mods were just amazing. So like, this is a game that I'm definitely putting more hours into. I just hope that they can, keep updating it and get it to the finished product, because hey, we got it in early access. It finally came out in early access, so we had it, and it's a lot of fun. And I really can't wait to jump back into this one. This was a really fun game, one of my favorites of this year as well. So those were the games that I played in 2020. There's a ton of other games I also played. So I played about 640 hours of the 2020 games. I have overall 1,600 hours played this year, so there's another 1,000 hours played. of other games that I'm going to go through. But if all you wanted to hear was the 2020 games, those are the ones. I think my game of the year, it's a tough choice because I would give it to Yakuza Like a Dragon. I kind of want to give it to Yakuza Like a Dragon because I absolutely love that game, but I haven't finished it yet. So I'm kind of like, should I give it to Horizon Zero Dawn or should I just stick with Yakuza? And I think I am just going to say Yakuza Like a Dragon because I cannot give Yakuza 0 a 2020 award because it was not released in 2020. So I think I'm just gonna say, if you have any interest in this series, Yakuza Like a Dragon is gonna be my game of the year. Even though I did not finish it this year, I still played it. I still technically played it this year, and I'm gonna be kind of finishing it up in the next like month or so. But yeah, I think a close second, I would probably say Horizon Zero Dawn. Really, really good game. If I'm gonna be kind of lenient and go with early access stuff, Mountain Blade, but I'll wait till that gets out of early access before saying like, hey, that's the best game of this year or something like that. All right, I'm gonna go a little bit faster through these. Let's talk about 2019 games. All right, so let me just see. We played a little bit more Risk of Rain 2. I remember in my other video, I was like, oh, if you have friends, I couldn't convince them. Well, they bought it and we played it and it's pretty fun. Played that for like 15 hours. That's a fun co-op game. Do recommend. I played Anno 1800 co-op with my friend. That was a lot of fun too. All right, Total War 3 Kingdoms. I finally played a full campaign. I played 38 hours. I finally went back to this game, and man, I'm glad I did. There isn't as much replayability as Warhammer 2 has, or the first Warhammer, Total War Warhammer, because a lot of the factions, I mean, it's all based in China, so all the factions are very similar with very minor differences. Unlike in Warhammer, where they're they're lizards, they're elves, they're dwarves, right? Like they're rats. Like it's like completely different factions and faction mechanics. So everything plays kind of the same. But man, the campaign map in Three Kingdoms is the best that it has ever been in the series. And I really hope that a lot of the stuff they did in 3K comes into Warhammer 3 because this is the best campaign map. I highly recommend you pick up Total War if you're a fan of the Total War series. I think this is the best that the campaign has been. There is so much to do. There is so many mechanics here. Like with the spy network is a whole thing on its own. The trade is way more relevant. How much stuff you can trade. Like you can trade regions, trade pretty much items. You've got to play 3K just to get a taste of that campaign map. It's just so good, and the art style is absolutely amazing. I highly recommend Total War 3 Kingdoms. All right, so Yakuza, the other Yakuza game I played, Yakuza Kiwami 2, is awesome. It had the switch from, I think it was the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation 3, so the engine also had a bump up, and they did when they remastered, I think they remastered it into like that PS3 engine or the PS4 engine, and it worked out beautifully for the brawler of this game. I loved Yakuza Kiwami 2. It also has the Cabaret Club, which I'll talk about in Yakuza 0, which is the best minigame ever, by the way. It's the best minigame. It's the only thing you should play in this game. No, it's not, but I played this for 56 hours, and I absolutely love this series because of Yakuza 0 and Kiwami 2. They're my two favorite of the series, and Like a Dragon is also becoming my favorite of the series as well. Everyone knew when you play. That's why Kiwami 1 was such a disappointment, because it just did not hold up at all. I guess it's just because like it is an older game and you have to think of it that way, but man, Yakuza Kiwami 2 is an amazing game. Great story. It's such a fun kind of like take where like the sub stories are super silly, and then the main quest is like this super intense like mafia film. That is just really, really cool. I highly recommend you play these games. The last game in the 2019 games is Red Dead Redemption 2. I finished it. I know I talked about it in my last video, and I did play an extra 65 hours of it. Really, really good game. Red Dead Redemption 2 is it could even be the 2020 contender for Game of the Year because it was kind of in that November window. It did get Game of the Year on Steam, and for good reason. This game is absolutely amazing. The open world, it's just, you feel like you are a part of it. It's like they did such an amazing job with this game. It's something that I missed from Cyberpunk 2077. You didn't have kind of that RP like feel to it. Like you could not really RP in that game because there were so many bugs, and it just didn't have very much you can do. The NPCs all felt kind of dead. And in Red Dead Redemption 2, you can say hi to people, you can have little mini conversations with them until they say like, okay, go away. Like he says howdy to almost everyone he walks by. Depending how many times you say him, his reputation goes up or down as he's like, you go into like the light path or the dark path, right? And The story is phenomenal. So 2018 games, I'm gonna mention just a couple of them. We played The Forest, really good survival game. I did talk about it already on one of my top 5 survival adventure games, so you can look at that video for more information about it. Really good one. You got some friends to play with it. Highly recommend you play it. Far Cry 5, I played the solo, and then I also played a co-op. A lot of fun co-op. Way more fun co-op. Then Yakuza 0. 96 hours. Amazing game. Highly recommend. A must play. You got to play Yakuza 0. This is game of the overall year. It's got to be. Wow, this game is amazing. It's long, but man, there's so much to do. It is so fun. Majima is the best in this. Like, I did not really like Majima that much after, like, in the other 2 games, because he has this character switch, and I liked him in Yakuza 0, so I didn't know that was gonna happen. I'm like, what happened? Like, in one cutscene, he went from being this guy, then he's this guy, and I was like, so I had to read up on it, like, online to be like, okay, what what happened to my favorite character? But like in this game, man, because you're going between Kiryu and Majima, and like, wow, the story in this game, and just how they go between these 2 characters, and how they're interacting with the world, and how their 2 stories come together. It's just phenomenal. Really good game. So many fun sub stories. Oh my god, the minigame, the Cabaret Club, best minigame ever, right? Like, I highly recommend. This is now like one of my favorite series. Bring 3 to 6 on PC. Bring 3 to 6 on PC. We are waiting. We're waiting to play it. Please, Sega, do it. Just do it. All right, so let's go to 2017 games. Life is Strange Before the Storm. I haven't finished this. I should go finish it. I love Life is Strange. I haven't finished Before the Storm. It's actually pretty good. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a really fun game. I played this with my friends. We picked it up, it's pretty cheap, and it was on Steam, especially when it went on Steam. And it's fun. I actually really enjoyed it. It's really fun to play this with friends because you get in a squad together. And the droids are the best. They're hilarious. They're so fun to play. It is a really good time. And I do recommend, if you like Star Wars at all, or if you're curious about how this game is now, I recommend you pick this up. It's actually really fun, especially if you have friends to play with. This is always going to be on the games I played this year because I love the Total War series, and Total War Warhammer 2 is one of my favorites of the series, along with like Total War Medieval 2 or like Total War Rome. Like some of the classics. Oh, Shogun, Total War Shogun 2 was really good as well. But Total War Warhammer 2 might be my favorite of the entire series. It kind of takes the medieval Total War Medieval 2 Third Age mod and makes it official, but now the second, because it was Total War Warhammer was the first one, which I was like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. And Total War Warhammer 2 comes out, a much sleeker version with Mortal Empire campaign, where it combines both maps together. So I played this for another 106 hours. I played a really awesome co-op campaign with my friend. I went over for a LAN party and an extended weekend, and wow, that was a lot of fun. We were on the struggle bus for 100 turns, and because we were playing around the time where the orcs got the WoG buff, so Grimgor was kicking us hard, and we were like stalled, but we got through it, and it was awesome. We're sitting next to each other playing this. Amazing, probably my best Warhammer 2 experience. I also picked up the Paunch and the Warden DLCs. I played half of the Paunch DLC, but I played it vanilla, and I got kind of tired of the vanilla stuff, so I went to Warden with mods. Really fun, really like the Warden mechanic. You have your own solo army, just in the Wastelands, in the Barren Lands, or whatever it was called, just wrecking up everything, and then you had your other armies doing your classic High Elves campaign, so it's like you're doing double campaign at the same time. So that was a lot of fun. Alright, 2015 game, we got back into GTA 5. I played this one for 48 hours, messing around more with just kind of the heists and stuff. A lot of fun. Honestly, GTA Online is really fun with friends. Don't buy any of the microtransactions. You don't need that stuff. They give you money eventually. Don't feel like you need to rush through it. There's no need to rush through this game. Just take your time, because once you do all the heists, there's like really nothing else to do. So take your time with it, have fun, go through the money struggle, right? Play with your friends. It's a really good time. We had a blast playing GTA 5. And we tried to play like the new heist. The new heist was terrible. We did not like it. It took all our guns away. I'm like, why would you do this to us? But this is a really good time. I really recommend GTA 5 if you have some friends to play it with. And don't buy any of the microtransactions. But the single player story is really good too. So if you haven't played GTA 5 yet, get it on sale. It's always on sale. Don't buy this full price now. This game is so old. It's in 2015 and it's still getting released. Where's GTA 6? Alright, only 2014 game that I mention all the time, Hearthstone Battlegrounds. Put another 185 hours in this one. Played it a lot more. I don't know why I keep playing this. It's just very addicting to come back to it. The auto battler game mode in Hearthstone. I'll probably keep playing it. I gotta stop playing this game. 2013 game, we did another half season, my friend and I, of Path of Exile. 28 hours, we did not do the full season. Fun game. I think we're just getting kind of fatigued on it. Might need something new, but we like our time with it. So maybe there may be a new league coming out that's really fun. So we'll try that. And the same goes for Diablo 3. We played that. Another game I mentioned already before, I think in my adventure survival games or one of the other game lists I made last year. Terraria, we played that for 8 hours. Pretty fun game. I think it was very enjoyable. And then yeah, we'll finish this off with a 2005 game, a nostalgic game that we came back to, that you need a lot of different things to get it running. But we finally did, and it's worth Battlefield 2. We played it for like I think 10ish hours. Really good sign. Battlefield 2, it's one of the games that we played a lot at LAN parties back when I was in high school, and it's really fun, and it still holds up. It's a good time, but you gotta have friends to play with, because I don't know how the online servers are now, but we just go, play bot battles and just ridiculously uneven sides, and we just get smashed, or we kind of figure out a way to work around the AI and kind of like it's almost like a zombie mode at a certain point, but it's a lot of fun, very nostalgic, a lot of fun things in Battlefield 2. So that is it. That is the video. I've recorded this for 46 minutes. I will not make this video 46 minutes long. That is too long. I thank you for watching up to this point. Let me know what games you guys played in 2020. In 2021, I'm going to be finishing Yakuza Like a Dragon. I'll play some Control, and I have Xbox Game Pass on PC for another like 3 years. So I'll be playing all of those Xbox Game Pass games that I missed. So yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty fun year. I mean, Yakuza Like a Dragon starting it off, so I have a lot more to do in that game. I would say I'm maybe halfway through it. I think I got another at least 50 hours of that. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. Again, my game of the year, I'm gonna just give it to Yakuza Like a Dragon. And then my overall game of the year, I'm giving that to Yakuza 0. We're going full Yakuza here. Great series. 2020, the best part of 2020 is getting introduced to this series. That I just picked it up during a Steam summer sale, and man, I should have bought this for full price, because that game, whew, best games ever. Alright guys, stay safe out there, and be good. Bye.